Hello, everybody, and welcome. Alex Brasky alongside my co-host Ajay Cybulski, also Connor Domoy and head coach Pete Beuler out there in Oakfield-Alabama, Elba. 6 straight championships for the boys outdoor track and field program. Incredible run, a double dynasty, as they say out there at OAE. And Connor, you've been a big part of this entire thing, but before we get to you, Coach, why don't you give us your reflections? You've coached so many great athletes, not only over these past 6 years, but beyond that. Where does Connor stand out to you in terms of great athletes at Oakfield-Alabama, Elba? The accolades speak for themselves in terms of the championships that he's come across and earned himself in 2 different sports, both track and field, indoor and outdoor wise, and cross country. When you look back, and I'm not going to ask you to rank them, but could you give us some perspective in terms of where Connor ranks or has placed himself in terms of OAE running lore out there?
No, absolutely. Appreciate it. Phenomenal question. We are very blessed here at OAE. We have such dedicated student athletes on the women's and men's side, and we are getting ready for our end of the year kind of awards, and Connor will be getting some awards coming up kind of deal. And I'm thinking about what do I say, the speech kind of deal. If I could put in words how much we appreciate the effort that you put into our sports. It's tough because these student athletes, Connor, especially what they put in, how do we thank them? It's very tough to put into words. I think back to our other great runners, like a Cole O'Donnell, Josh Larman. Their resumes were fantastic when I gave them their big speeches. And Zach Hall, remember Zach? Oh my gosh, the resume. And then back then I thought, couldn't this get any better? How could you top this? And then you got this young man. Holy smokes. So it's funny that, numbers don't lie in track and field, as you know. For cross country, courses change, as you know, but he does have our all-time McQuaid time. McQuaid is the standard invitational. He has our fastest time there, guys, and he has our highest ever finish at states. Second. No OAE man has ever been better than that. So second at states. For indoor, he has our mile record, our 2-mile record, and 1,000, which is awesome. And for outdoor, he has a mile record ever in OAE history, 2-mile record, and steeplechase. So he has definitely, at the biggest moments for our team, has put the team first over his individual success, because we are not winning 6 sectional championships without him carrying a major load there. And if you think about it, these sectional meets, you're running a mile, 2-mile, half mile. That's 4 miles of racing in a 4-hour amount of time. We have, Coach Goldstein and Riebert help us out, and they have done a great job of compiling our history of the last 30 years, because Coach Goldstein was coached in the 1980s. So we have this tracked out pretty darn well, and it's just fun to see Connor just keep on pushing everyone else down, and he has been the standard bearer. He is our best distance runner OAE has ever seen, for sure.
Connor, Coach Beuler, thank you for joining us here. And like Alex was saying before the interview, every email, it felt like Connor was the focal point. Every track and field interview that I was putting together, Connor Domoy wins multiple events, because that's what we do. We write about multi-winners. And Connor was always the one doing that. Connor, I want to ask you your first question, and I just chose to pick this one because this was my first couple months at Batavia Daily. Just describe your performance and mindset at the Class A4 Championships in February, where you took home first in the 3,200 meter run, 1,000 meter run, and 1,600 meter run to help OAE win the sectional title there. What did that mean to you? What was the mindset going into that, and just your goals going into that meet?
Yeah, so that sectional meet, I knew it was the last one for me and a couple other studs from our team. And we knew we didn't want to be the ones to break this streak and lose a sectional meet. So I knew I had to run 3 events and kind of just go for the win and kind of save myself for the times that were going to come the week after and the week after. But it was great to do it with teammates around me. I think we went 1-2 in the 2 mile and 1:03 in the mile. So yeah, it was great to be surrounded by teammates for that.
So your coach mentioned that you probably go down as one of the best, if not the best, runners in OAE history. For you, when did you realize you could become that in track and field? Because I feel like there's always a moment where maybe it kind of a flip kind of switches in your head where you get to that point of I can really become one of the greatest at what I do, especially in high school. So just go through that and your thought process. Was there a moment for you?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I mean, I started really training that COVID year. I was in 8th grade. It was spring track, and Beuler was giving me workouts. And I was running some pretty big mileage. And then come freshman cross-country season, I was running alongside Zach Hall, who was a record holder at Oakfield previously. And I just remember one day walking to the track with a teammate in me, with Zach, and he was like, one of you could win states for cross-country. And like I started thinking about it, like that seemed crazy then, but I kept working for it, and I kept that in the back of my mind. And I know I didn't end up winning states, but I think I put together quite the resume and figured everything out. So yeah.
Yeah, you came pretty darn close to winning states. Like Coach said, you had that second place finish at the state meet. To have a runner-up finish under your belt, and like you said, you don't achieve the ultimate goal, but still just a great performance that you put on display at such a high level against some of the top competition in New York State. What did that mean to you, and what was the takeaway from that meet, that runner-up finish at the state championships? I know you set your goal on the ultimate prize, but to come away with that second place, what did it mean to you?
Yeah, so I mean, initially, like, this is a sport where outcomes really matter. And I go into it like, I want to win this. And so immediately after, I'm definitely disappointed about a second place. But looking back, like a week after, and even now, like second place against that field, the guy who won it ended up winning the federation meet and almost qualifying for nationals. So, I mean, it's nothing to be ashamed about. And second place on my last race the senior year is definitely something to be proud of. Yeah.
Coach Beuler, I asked Connor the question of when he realized, from your perspective, before we get back to Connor here, when did you realize Connor could be something special as a track and field athlete? Was it right away? Was it a specific moment? When did you realize that you really had one of the most decorated, Oakfield-Alabama Elba runners right in front of you?
It's crazy. In that meet you're talking about too, the state meet, that as a team, Connor helped us finish third, which, third in the state, and we've only been second once. So we're trying to get closer and closer to that. But I talked to Connor about this before too, is that we're so busy at the day-to-day training, and we have so many meets to get through and the work, that sometimes I always feel bad that we don't step back for a second and, like you say, and that's why I appreciate this interview, and reflect. I'm like, holy cow, Connor, look what you accomplished. Like, we appreciate what you do and did, because he's not getting where he is without just pure, and it's more than hard work. I mean, it's sacrifice. I mean, he goes on vacation out west with his family, which is awesome. They go on hikes. He's waking up at 5 in the morning to get his run in, and then he can do the day on with other people. We're on vacation. Everyone else is on a different schedule. And for you to keep your training going, it's the sleep, it's the nutrition. But especially early on in his career, we would, especially over the summer, be calling each other back and forth. And he would always keep me upbeat how he was doing. I mean, I'm calling college coaches, like, say, hey, I got this. We have the stud. We have this amazing young athlete that, of course, everyone wanted, and like, help me out here. So we knew it was coming. Unfortunately, it came a little too fast. It's just like, wow, now he's going to UB, kind of deal. But we definitely saw it going because the writing was on the wall. You know what I'm saying? He put his nose to the grindstone. He worked hard. He does not settle. After a race, if I don't see him at the Olympic Games with a gold medal around his neck, I'm worried. Oh boy, he's not going to be happy. He's not going to be happy. But that's what you want in a sport like cross country and track. You can always be better. There's always someone better than you. and that's what separates him from the rest. So we knew early on that there's something special here growing, and he has fantastic support at home, which helps so much, because to be good as Connor is, it's a lifestyle, I believe.
For sure. And Connor, that was actually my next question for you. How has your support system pushed you to be great throughout your high school career?
Yeah, so my support system, I guess, is second to none. My parents are extremely hard workers. My mom was a runner in high school at Oakfield, and my dad was a swimmer. They both competed in college for a little bit, and I mean, every day now that they're out of high school, they continue to work hard, and there's never any expectations for me to perform to the highest, and there's no disappointment if I do, but I just feel compelled to work hard every day to try to be like them.
So great genes, Coach. It's more than the hard work. He's got the genes as well. Boy, runner and swimmer. You couldn't ask for better than that when it comes to a distance runner. But Connor, Coach touched on it before. You're headed to UB. What are you looking forward to out of that experience? What are your plans, maybe educational-wise, also athletically? What are you looking forward to at the next level?
Yeah, so I mean, first and foremost, I'm looking forward to having a great group of teammates around me. We have a great incoming freshman class, and I think we're ready to do something special in the conference and NCAA-wise. I'm looking to work with another great coach, Todd Witzelben, and I'm going to be studying aerospace engineering. So I'll definitely be busy between running and studying. But yeah, I'm looking forward to a whole new experience, living on my own and working hard.
Connor, what would you tell future track and field athletes, or athletes in general, because you've obviously competed at the highest level for so long, that come through Oakfield-Alabama, Elba, or any school really in the Section 5 area? What would you tell them?
So I've been thinking about this. There's been a lot of quotes and speeches that I've needed to give and will need to give in the next couple of weeks. And there's really no easy answer. I know for me, it was work hard from the beginning and never compare yourself to like kind of what your teammates are doing. You always got to go a step above even what your coaches think sometimes. You just got to keep working hard and never compare yourself to others at your same level. You want to compare yourselves to others where you want to be.
Yeah, and as you look forward to UB, it's going to be tough to live up to what you accomplished at OAE. So, Coach, that's certainly something that you're going to have to preach to these distance runners over the next few years. Maybe reach for the heights that Connor has set for the program, but if you don't come up with them, it's okay. It's okay. It's kind of the exception rather than the rule, and a great exception at that. And Connor, we look forward to presenting a couple awards to you as well this summer that you earned throughout the high school sports season. Coach, you're in on that as well. So just a great year for OAE, and it's great to talk with you guys, and great to have you along for the past several years with our coverage of the Batavia Daily News.
Yes, I appreciate all you guys do. Thank you.
You do a phenomenal job for a sport in school. Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you guys soon.